Welcome to Redvee TV's Instant Fan Reaction, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2022 season, as we reflect on Leeds 0, St Helens 26 here at the Emerald Headingley Stadium over in Leeds this evening. Kevin, by the power of technology, you've not been able to make it over tonight due to some late personal circumstances. But what? Look at this technology on Redvee, eh? We're doing all right.
I know, you know exactly where I am. That's the worrying thing. You can find me at all times, but it does mean that I can't go to Tariq's for a kebab.
A short walk up St Michael's Lane in a bit to get them. And you know what? It's a cold one here tonight. I know Widnes probably isn't much warmer, but that was a result, if not a performance, to warm the cockles.
Yeah, I think that's dead right. The result's great. Always looks good with the old duck egg against the opposition. But there were times in that performance where if you're up against a Leeds team of old, that just isn't a win for Saints. Past couple of weeks, probably since Snotting Warrington, we've been kind of off the pace a little bit. I may be doing us a disservice in a game or two there, but I think we've... for some reason, we're just literally not quite firing how we should.
Yeah, obviously, Christian's going to make changes tonight. Alex Walmsley's felt probably a little bit tight in the week, so they've held him back. No Kyle Amor, no Matty Lees. It's almost like we've probably held them back maybe for Catalan next week, obviously, because you run the risk of a HIA, don't you, and being out for 10 days, as Jake Wingfield has been unlucky enough to suffer tonight. Interesting that Christian decided to bring and give John Bennison a chance on the wing ahead of Josh Sim. And to be fair to John Bennison, I thought he was solid, and he grew into the game in the second half and became more confident as the game went on. It obviously, that one error under the high ball, but listen, all the best players make them at some point in the time. And you know what? He didn't look out of place. And obviously, the worldie of a ball back on the inside for Lewis Dodd to go under the sticks as well. Do you know what? It would have been quite easy for him to try and score himself.
Yeah, it would. I actually said that to a mate. A mate was texting me during the game, and I said it'd be easy for him to just try and go for that line and maybe go over, maybe get bundled into touch, but you wouldn't have blamed him for doing so. Again, I think you're right there. He didn't look out of place. Didn't really do much in the first half, which is probably good for him. Keep your head down. Don't make any mistakes. Just get on with your game. He does make that one mistake, and you wonder how that's going to affect him. Well, you know what? That shows the attitude of John. It shows the attitude that is instilled in our academy lads. That, you know what? He grew. As you say, he grew. He's taken another high ball. I mean, to be honest, watching it on telly, he's taken it like a goalkeeper would. And you do think, that's not the technique that you want to see. But it's worked. The worldie of the ball on the inside.
I've not even mentioned that, have I? That second high ball he took, when it would have been easy after the first one, he's took it on his own line and gone 50 metres and started us off for the Johnny Lomax finish.
Yeah, for the try. And that's it. Listen, that's testament to him. And he'll have tougher games than that. He might end up having a tougher game than that next week. He might be in and out of the team a little bit and not quite cementing a place as yet. But you know what? Good on the lad. He's not done himself any harm with that performance, has he?
He hasn't. And I think we spoke on like the fan reactions in the previous shows. Obviously, Dan Norman's performances over the last couple of weeks, he's done enough to get himself another start, and he's almost become trusted in Christian Wolf's plans, hasn't he? That he knows that, listen, he might not be in the starting 17 or the 17-man squad each week, but when we've got injuries, Christian Wolf knows he can now depend on him to come in.
Yeah, to be honest, I was watching him because he's built similarly to Alex Walmsley. You kind of watch him and see, is he going to be the next incarnation? And some of his runs, against the tiring Leeds defence, but some of his runs, you've still got to make that run. You've still got to take them defenders backwards. So he impressed me tonight, and he's another one who I think he's out of contract, possibly end of the season. He's someone who is obviously playing for a contract, and listen, if he can keep his self in and about that 17-man squad, then he's going to be rewarded at the end of it. But yeah, I thought he went well.
Obviously, we raced into that early 8-0 lead. Obviously, it could have been 12, but we missed the kicks because they were pretty much out on the touchline.
Yeah.
You almost felt that in that first 20 minutes, Saints could have completely run away with the game. I don't think the Leeds had to play the ball in the Saints half in the first 20 minutes. But we seemed to then go into maybe second gear a little bit in attack. We just seemed to be quite happy to probably go through the motions. And then, although we were absolutely rock solid defending our line and in defence, we give far too many penalties away and invited Leeds onto us. It was almost like we were trying to have a training session of how many tackles we could make inside our own 20.
Yeah, listen, it was good defence from us. I think you've got to couple that with Leeds' attack. I've spoken in the past, and I bagged Hull for this, so I'm going to go to Leeds with the same thing. You've got to be honest. You've got to earn the right to score a try. And they were trying to be like Harlem Globetrotters and ended up more Rodney Trotters. They were absolutely like some of the balls that they were trying, Hollywood balls, and you just think, no, build the pressure, don't let us out. And we looked, as I say, a better Leeds team or a better team in the league. Don't let us out. Don't get the field position and then make us kick long. And we just kind of got easy outs. And listen, I think Curtis Sirenham possibly made the most errors in that first half.
Leeds combined.
Yeah, it was it, and I don't know what role he's been given. On Sky, they mentioned him trying to be an enforcer.
He took the James Bentley role.
Yeah, but again, I'm not having to go with Kurt Sirenham, but it's just you notice him because he's one of our Aussies, because he's one of our imports. You kind of notice that thing a little bit more because you might be looking for, I don't know, him to keep hold at certain times rather than try to pass out or whatever. So it's not really me bagging him because we weren't great as a collective, as you say, over that second 20 minutes of the first half. But if we are kind of bagging the team, I will turn around and I will say Conrad defensively was better. There was a tackle in the second half where he kind of covered back. He showed that Saints enthusiasm. And that's all you want to see. And listen, it was against his old club, obviously, and it's going to be a little bit more to him. But that's what you want to see. A fair play to him. He stood up. He got that first try. That was as nailed on as Kyler Moore any time against Whitehaven, that. And we didn't back it. And I think James Roby won man of the match, but Sky Bet weren't taking bets on that.
No, on the pitch, I think it got given to Johnny Lomax.
Or did it? Well, on the Our League app, it was Roby by country mile, I think.
That was done before kickoff. But yeah, I was going to get into Conrad. Obviously, you weren't happy with his performances over the last couple of weeks, but do you know what? I think he really stepped up tonight. I think he made one error where he coughed the ball up, but apart from that, he was absolutely solid all night. He went, but how bad his Leeds defence went? I think I tweeted the hole that he went through to score was bigger than mine and his head combined.
Yeah, you wouldn't find a hat to fit that gap, would you? Yeah, that's it. Listen, I've said there's little bits that I'm not enjoying about, especially his defensive play. But tonight, it's the scrambled defence. It's just what you want to see. It's the effort. Just put the effort in. If you don't get back, but you look like you're putting the effort in, you'll fool an idiot like me into making you think that he's put the effort in. But he was miles better than he has been in the past couple of weeks.
Morgan Knowles. That's what happens when you don't feed him for a week.
Yeah.
Absolute animal.
Yeah. Tremendous. He just bosses that middle of the park, doesn't he? Properly bosses it, properly runs it. You get the young winger from Leeds, Tyndall, goes across the line, and Morgan Knowles just shoots out and goes, right, you're not going anywhere. We're just going to cut that out. And it's things like that. And when people mention him being the next captain, it's bits like that you think, That's why, because he's set an example. He's setting an example, and I know we'll get onto this fella again probably. He's setting an example like James Roby does. He's setting an example like Johnny Lomax does. Yeah, it's just tremendous.
James Roby tonight, do you know what? The scoots from the play of the ball, he got a yard of pace back.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever lost it, but he looked quicker than he's looked in a long time. And obviously that's 500 up. He's 30 odd appearances behind the record holder. You have to start looking as like, do you go another year? Because he's more than good enough to go that extra 12 months, take the record and potentially do 5 in a row.
Yeah. I think he's got to be looking at going around again. He could do it. His body might tell him differently. Worth seeing it from the sidelines and thinking he can do this again. Of course, he can go round again. He's good enough. He's still sharp enough. It is that problem of if you go a year too far, he's not going to take the kind of shine off his career. But if he goes that year too far and we're just carrying him and putting him through performances just to get a record. But I don't believe he's fallen that kind of far down in his performances to kind of warrant not going round another year.
He's still beating Joey Lussick out as your starting 9.
Yeah, he is, and that's it. Everybody's really excited.
And that's nothing that Joey Lussick's done wrong, because Joey Lussick is a compliment when he comes on and will be our starting 9 next year. But imagine having James Roby only having to come off the bench for 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, exactly. Just come on, manage the last 10 minutes at the end of the first half, first 10 minutes at the beginning of the second half, and maybe the last 10 minutes of the game as well. And just manage that. That's all you've got to do. As you say, with Lussick, he's stopping Lussick starting. Lussick has had a couple of starts this year, but he's stopping him starting in what you'd term bigger games. And Lussick's probably learning quite a bit off him as well. And as you say, it's nothing that he's done wrong, but it also gives Joey Lussick the time to bed in at Saints, get used to how we play, get used to the combinations and what we're doing, and kind of get back up to speed with Super League, because he didn't play that much when he was down at, was it Parramatta? He was down at. And so him getting back up to speed and getting sharp again to Super League, listen, it's good for Joey as well.
Absolutely. And do you know what? If anybody's been following our Twitter feed tonight, there's been one account that's been very, very negative about Saints and Christian Wolf. And you think, what do people want? They were criticising the team selection tonight. Well, do you know what? He's got it right. He's rested maybe a couple, held 1 or 2 back who were carrying injuries, and come and got a comprehensive 26-0 victory. Listen, you could go and play your best 13 week in, week out. We could have come and played Walmsley, Leeds, Amor, put everybody out there tonight and won by 50, but then risk players missing next week against Catalan. It's about utilising your squad effectively, realising that we've got 25 players in that squad for a reason, and managing the games. And do you know what? Bedding players in as well and giving people an opportunity. And Dan Norman's been a real bright spot. John Bennison has been another bright spot tonight. And we're learning about players that we've got on the squad.
Yeah, that's it. You've seen the likes of Sam Royal in there as well. And listen, I always say that I think Saints play week to week to week. I don't think we look too far into the future. But part of that week to week to week, it's not like he's got a book and he's writing down, right, this is who I'm going to play this week. And if everybody's fit, I'm going to play them this week. And then 3 weeks down the line, we're playing Huddersfield. So this is the team. He doesn't do that, but he will have an eye on what's going on. I've not seen our Twitter feed, to be honest, mainly because I was trying to watch it on Sky and I was a little bit behind. But no, I want to see it because people like kind of having a go at Christian Wolf. I mean, how short's the memory? But listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but opinions are like...
We got accused of only looking at 1 point at this point in time, and I said this point in time is the last 3.5 years.
Well, let's look at this point in time. We're top of the league.
Absolutely, and Leeds joint bottom, and I tell you what, they better hope Toulouse don't start winning some home games. because that's as bad a Leeds side as I've seen for an awful long time.
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of work there, and we've said this about Leeds, about how they need a coach and kind of management with a plan, and they need to stick to that plan. You can't go chopping and changing every 6, 12, 18 months. You can't do it. You can afford to do it once, but because of how the salary cap works in the game, if you get someone and bring all their players in, they're then stuck on a contract. It's not like football where you can turn around and say, right, we're going to try and sell him, because that's not what happens. And if you release players, they're going to turn around and say, well, I want the rest of my contract paid up. That still counts on the cap, as far as I'm aware. You can't just start turning around and paying players off because there's somebody down the road who you want to go and get. Doesn't work like that. So listen, they need to go back to their old thing of bringing the young lads through. They might not get a golden generation through like they did for a while, but they need to bring the young lads through, and they need to kind of stick with a plan, get a plan in place for the next 3 years, and realise that years 1 and 2 may not mean that you are finishing in the top 3 and 4, that you're going to finish top 8, that you're going to finish top 6, then you start going at it again.
Absolutely. Just before we finish, Martin, the Leeds fan who always watches our videos and comments on our YouTube channel, we do really appreciate your input, by the way. We do read everything you write and have a discussion about it. We probably haven't mentioned you enough, but yeah, thanks for watching. We do, and obviously, we say that sincerely, because you are appreciated. It's part of our community. Kev, at least we know this technology works, and we'll be able to do this from Catalan. Well, I'll be able to do it from Catalan next week.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll sit here. No, you just get some people over the.
Well,
you'll have enough people over there.
Yeah, that really depends what state people are in.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll be on standby then. I'll be on call.
You get fizzled in your own house, and then we can.
If it's nice, I'll sit in the garden as if I'm in France myself.
Absolutely. It'll probably be colder over there.
It probably will be. Just one thing before you finish as well. Before the game, Rhino Dave 75 on Twitter, Dave Blackburn, we've had him doing a couple of previews for us in the past. He's a great follower of ours. He actually said before the game, can we just skip the game and get to your post-match reaction video where we all praise Saints Roby? Yeah, we've done that. And the Saints fans moan about the away end at Heading late. Well, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to moan about it.
But they're all right tonight.
No, they're all right tonight. And they moan about the performance of the referee. Listen, watching that game on Sky, James Childers had a good game, though. He really has had a good game. There's not many he's got wrong. He's got 1 or 2 wrong, and that's for both teams.
Quite a few that the self-stand absolutely moan like
we all do.
Mad. And then he's seen it on the screen and went, all right then.
Yeah. We all have a whinge. But you know what? Yeah, it's again, cheers, Dave, for getting involved. We do like to see the other fans of other clubs getting involved. We'll take the mick every so often. Well, you usually do.
No, do you know what? Really good following from Saints over here tonight as well. Absolutely at the way end. And anybody who watched our preview show and took the expert tip of Saints by 26, you've probably done all right tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, well
I didn't follow through with some cash on it myself.
Oh, rookie error.
We're gonna have to start backing our spot on tips.
Did you do it in our tipping comp that we're in?
Absolutely.
Did you? Good lad.
Right. I think that's us done and dusted, isn't it, Kev?
It is. Yeah.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you next week for the Redvee TV preview show. Catch you soon.